World War has been uncovered by a plumber in Hertfordshire. David Murray made the discovery when he was digging in his garden.
It all started with a dog tag from a German prisoner, so David kept digging. So far, he's found more than 2,000 items.
There you go, there's a buckle off a bit of webbing.
So that's been buried for what, 60 odd years?
65 odd years or so, yeah.
Another piece from a prison camp. Now David Murray's garden. He's found all kinds of things. Well, David, all of this has come out of that pit. What have you found?
We found shoes,
yep,
water canteens, a milk jug and medicine bottles.
Loads of medicine bottles?
Lots of medicine bottles.
The story started with a dog tag.
I was digging up the daisies, so to speak, you know, working on the flower beds and building a flint wall, and first item came out. It was a dog tag, and it's just started from there. You know, once we realised it was a dog tag, you know, we thought, well, there's got to be more in the ground, and for a stalag dog tag to be in your back garden.
The camp from the air, 40 acres, home to thousands of Allied soldiers and Italian and German prisoners. Among them, Erhard Wulstorf, a German who settled, raised a family and died here. His daughters live close by.
He was in the Panzers, and he was captured in Belgium and brought over to England and was in the prisoner of war camp, and then he met my mother and they got married, and here we are.
And they could come and go, couldn't they? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Come and visit in the village, didn't they? Went to the pub.
Went to the pub?
Yeah, they went to the pub, didn't they? They played football.
Bottles, bullets, buttons. The collection's moving from David's shed to the village's Forge Museum. His hairiest find? A hand grenade.
The first thing I knew about it was I hid it. You know, found it. It looked like a jam jar, so I held it to my ear. You can see if they're fizzing. I mean, especially with artillery rounds, if they're bubbling. You know, if they are, put down and get away as quick as possible.
People have always known about the camp, but no one knew so much of it remained. What David digs out, he plans to put on display. Mike Cartwright, BBC Look East, Much Haddam.
And if you're wondering what happened to the grenade, the RAF bomb squad took it away. They took David with them, and he was allowed to blow it up. But they were a little concerned that he'd shaken it.
I know. Useful to know that. Fizzing. Don't get near.
Now, although she was knocked out in the second round of the US Open, Suffolk tennis player Elena Baltacha has broken into the top 50 in the world for the first time.
She's climbed to number 49, making her only the second British woman in 16 years to get into the top 50. Danny Crates went to meet her this afternoon.
So, Elena, you've made it into the top 50, one of only two British women to do that in the last 16 years. Can you sum that up in words?
Yeah, it feels unbelievable. You know, at the beginning of the year when we were in Australia, we were kind of thinking about how do we stay in the top 100. And then 9 months later, you know, we're talking about breaking top 50. So, I mean, I've had an amazing year, and I'm really proud to be top 50 now.
And you've got some tournaments in Asia, and then coming up, you're representing Scotland in the Commonwealth Games. Are you excited about the Commonwealth Games and going to?
Yeah, I am. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a real honour to represent Scotland. I remember representing Scotland in the Youth Games in 2000 in Edinburgh, where we actually ended up losing to England in the final. Can you believe it? We beat all the top seeds on the way, and then managed to lose to England. But you know, we got silver medal there, and I mean, the games were amazing, so to think what the real thing's going to be like, and I think it's just going to be a real honour to be there. You know, I'm going to Delhi for a medal. I mean, gold obviously will be unbelievable. I know I'm going to be one of the top seeds there. But again, at events like this, you can't take anyone for granted, of course. You know, whether they're going to be lower ranked, or, you know, you can potentially come up against a girl who's very young and kind of on her way up, and so you know, you've got to be very professional, and I'll take it match at a time, but hopefully I'll come away with a medal.
So your confidence is very high, you've broken into top 50, but can you get your Twitter numbers up past 5,000?
Do you know what? Out of all the goals, that is the most important thing for me, just to get up to 5,000. Do you know, I really enjoy Twitter, and I've got some really funny kind of fans on there, and do you know what as well? It's you know, in my spare time, it's quite fun to get on there and just see who's got what status up there, and it does make me laugh a lot, and it's good fun as well.
Well, congratulations, thanks
you.
very much, and all the very, very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, all this week on Look East, we're looking at the extremes of weather and what causes events like tornadoes, water spouts and torrential rain.
Tonight, a night most of us will never forget, the hurricane. Well, it wasn't a hurricane really because it was cold in the middle, but we thought it was a hurricane.
Hurricane force.
1987 that was, and after the storm we were left to count the cost, and some evidence of that damage can still be seen today.
The Great Storm of 1987. Hurricane-force winds tore across the region, leaving a trail of devastation. Caravans were ripped to pieces, buildings lost their roofs. The cost of the damage ran into billions of pounds. This wood at Rabness in Essex is an RSPB nature reserve. It's a peaceful, tranquil place, especially at this time of year. But if you'd been here 23 years ago, it was as if all hell had broken loose.
The Woodland Trust now has a mammoth programme of restoration work on its hands.
A great many trees have been completely uprooted. Others have had very large limbs torn right off, and some very dangerous limbs are still suspended over what were paths and rides in the woodland.
23 years on, we brought Diana McMullen back to the wood.
What amazes me is the trees are still lying where they fell. You really get a sense of the enormity of what happened that night here.
Well, it was truly shocking to see it, first of all, with thousands of trees laid low by the wind. It was just going to be a huge project to decide what to do and how to do it. The trees fell over with their roots still attached, so this species in particular, sweet chestnut, is very good at regenerating from adventitious buds, so we get all this regrowth. Elsewhere in the wood, the decision was made to clear, and in hindsight I think that was a great mistake, because now we have areas where there's no dead wood, where we haven't got the habitat for invertebrates and so on that we have in this very rich environment here. I think the big lesson we have learnt is that we have been in too much of a hurry to tidy up, and that there was really no need, and that nature would recover a site like this.
The Great Storm was a salutary reminder of the chaos our wildest weather can cause. And in places, the sheer scale of what happened then is still evident today.
Tomorrow, Richard will be reporting from the wettest part of the region, Northamptonshire, where 2 people died in the Easter floods of 1998. There's also a special programme on wild weather next Monday at 7:30 on BBC One.
I suppose you knew it wasn't a hurricane.
Oh, yes. Yes. Mind you.